What is up?
What is up is
What is
we
up?
are on to another episode, another film to talk about.
All right.
We're on to it's 1001. That's the title of the film, not me saying another thing about us doing another thing. 1001 is the name of this movie. Came out earlier this year. It is on Peacock streaming right now. This was part of the list of stuff I was looking up and looking at, like, what's the highest rated stuff we've not seen that's streaming available. And this was one of the ones. I think, Jess, you were the one who plucked this out as one you'd say, I'll be on this one. Anything stand out about it?
No, just my usual process of elimination. I haven't heard this.
For first-time listeners, Jess's process of elimination, explain.
My process of elimination is first rank all the movies by Rotten Tomatoes score, and then my second filter is to rate it by length.
Right.
So that is how I decide which movie I'm going to watch amongst the list.
At least that's one more criteria than I think Nicole has. I think Nicole's is like, how long is this movie?
Nicole's length is higher than, I think, score, unless I mean she'll go with something if she really wants to go with it. But
That's true.
if she hasn't heard about it, she is not a jump on boarder. She needs to have already been on board. So
Right.
And then my third filter is probably eliminate all documentaries.
Eliminate. Okay, well, that's the opposite of what Mama K's instinct is, which is to frequently pull documentaries.
Stop it.
Hard to review. They're not really typically something you review
Stop.
in a traditional way like this.
Stop.
So,
I don't try to do it.
unapologetic and free-spirited Inez kidnaps her 6-year-old son Terry from the foster care system as they set out to reclaim their sense of home, identity, and stability in a rapidly changing New York City. This has a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, so check mark in the Jess column. 85 with the audience, 7.1 IMDb, and it clocks in under 2 hours, I think, as we said. So,
Just.
yeah, I can see why this passes the test. And if you haven't seen it, again, it is on Peacock. And we are going to spoil it here now. And this movie it's kind of broken up into 3 chapters, but like the middle chapter is super short. 3 time periods, I guess you could say. It's like the 90s, and this woman it's kind of day in the life. And there's this little 6-year-old kid who's bouncing around in the foster system. She's in a hospital bed at one point. And she's basically like takes him, like it's all done like on very ground level, but takes him to live with her, and there's another man who shows up into their lives. This is all happening. This is over the first hour of the movie, very slice of life happening. We skip forward to 10-15 minutes of he's 13-ish now, and things have continued to progress, and things are looking to be okay, but they're running into some problems, and then they resolve problems, things are talked about, revealed, and then we get to the third act where he's almost an adult, the kid, and he's about to go off to school, so he hopes, and they run into a final set of trials and tribulations for a 10-15 minute closing act of final twists, and that is heartbreaking. It's very, if anyone's seen Florida Project or Beast of the Southern Wild or Tangerine, it's very like all those movies, like indie ground level feel, and it's those same themes: single troubled parent and youth navigating indie film thing. Who wants to start today? Let's do Jess starting today. What'd you think of 1001?
Okay, so it was funny. At first I was calling it 1001 Dalmatians, but this in fact has nothing to do with dogs.
Yeah, nothing.
No.
I loved this movie, and it's been so long that I watched a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
I did. It felt so good. Like, it just felt refreshing.
Oh.
Like, it's like I was so thirsty, and I drank a glass of cold water, and I loved it.
I don't even need to be on this one then. Like, Jess is like gonna gush.
Oh,
I did. And I think everything just was in the right place. Like, I usually never take naps. I think I took a little nap, so I wasn't tired. I could watch the whole thing in full stretch. I didn't even think about pausing it. I was just totally in it. And at times, I wanted to cheat and look at my phone and read the plot to see what's going to happen next because I was just so in it.
No cheating.
But Inez, the character, you just pull her in. Like, within the first minute of her on screen, you're like, I want to be the pack that she's leading. Like, I want to be, like, her friends, and I want her to have my back. Like, this, I don't know what it was, but I was so compelled by this character.
Wow.
And I don't know, I just loved the story. I was fully in it, and I thought it was great. I loved it.
Oh, I'm so glad. This is your Beast of the Southern Wild.
The 1001 Dalmatian movie. Yeah.
Yeah, 1001 Dalmatians. Strongest start from Jess since I can remember. Mom, okay?
Well, I kept wanting to call this 1001 Arabian Nights. So I'm very compelled to talk a little bit about why is this named this. But I also like this movie, not nearly as much as Jess. I thought the first part dragged a little bit. I got her immediately. I got who she was, and I was totally in on exploring her life and what, how things were going to unfold for her. And, Daryl, but what's his name really? Timmy?
Terry.
Yeah, Terry. What a strange name for a 90s kid. He should have been like Zach or something like that. So, I also like this movie. I like slice of life kind of things, and this was compelling. Like I said, it dragged a little bit at the end in the first bit. The end of the first bit was kind of a lot for me, but I didn't expect the twist at the end, so that was actually kind of nice because I thought we were just having a nice little film where I could watch a family become. And then things change. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
I like I said, so we're all on the right page. Jess is the highest. That's rare. Yeah. All right, that's cool. I also like this, but I'm much closer to Bob McKay. But I did like different stuff. Maybe I love the first hour. I like when he's a kid. I like when it's her running around from store to store and like house to house and going payphone to payphone. All that's like, I like that. It gives me like, I thought of the ones I said, Florida Project, Beast of Southern Wild, Uncut Gems. It feels like tense, although the music is somewhat like relaxing somehow. I like when the movie starts, like it just kind of starts and you like wade
You're in it.
Like
yeah.
Walking it. Yeah, you just kind of like walking into like a pool. Like a lot of times, movie starts and there's like it's like, oh, there's a big thing we're setting up here, or like it's the big scene is the opening. This is just like it's just like her like in the morning and she's like going to a store she used to work at trying to get money from the guy, and then he's like, get out of here. Oh, okay, I'm going over here now, and then she just walks over there. I love that. I love all that stuff. I love watching all that for like an hour, and then like. He meets the guy. When then there's like the guy. The guy comes in, like the father figure guy, Lucky. And then I'm like, I'm always wary of like the older stepfather figure in a film because that can mean trouble. And then I kind of my expectations are a little bit defied for the next 40 minutes, and I'm kind of enjoying it, but also like. Not as engaged as I was in the beginning when I was afraid of everything. Like, once I start kind of getting a little more comfortable, I'm like, I kind of like this. But also, I would get a little bored, and I would like something to happen. And it is 2 hours, and maybe I'm starting to think this could be an hour 40 minute story, and it's starting to drag. And then the last 10, 15 minutes twists, and all the stuff happens, and I'm like, oh, what a nice comeback around. So that was my journey. I thought the middle of happiness sagged. I liked the frantic, oh god, what are we gonna do? We gotta get out of here. We gotta take it from here. We gotta go to here. We can't find him here. You can't leave this room for the whole day. I liked all that.
It was also good.
I mean, the middle part was kind of a little bit of a lull, but it had to kind of, you had to have that where he's a teenager, and this is when they first learn that he might be gifted and that he has opportunity, and that's the whole point of the movie. For her to give him opportunity. And then when you said you were scared of Lucky, of the dad, the father figure coming in, I was too, just because the guy who played him was imposing. He was an imposing figure and liked to do push-ups and stuff like that.
The opening scene, he's like, you already tried to kick me out, huh? I'm like, foreshadowing. That seems foreboding to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
But I was actually more scared of the landlord in the third section I thought he was going to be. I mean, he was a creep, but he wasn't a creep in like a predator kind of way. Well, he was in a financial predator, but not like in a sexual predator way. I really thought that was going to go that direction. So, I was surprised.
Sexual
this
predator?
movie...
You thought the landlord was going to be a sexual predator?
Yeah, didn't you, Jess? No.
Yeah, I could totally see it go. I didn't think sexual predator. I just thought that they were just going to make this very, very inconvenient for them. Which he did, but I thought it was going to be more deliberate. Like, you guys gotta leave or I'm doubling your rent. I mean, he did, like, fuck up their appliances and gave them no choice.
Yeah.
But I thought it was going to be immediate action.
Yeah. It's sad to watch the plight of, I mean, because I feel like this is not an uncommon plight for single parents, single women specifically. So, and women of color for sure.
Yeah, so that's like the whole thing is like we get introduced. She's wandering around like she's basically like homeless at the beginning, right? Or does she have?
She just got out of prison.
Doing? She just got out of prison at the very beginning. Okay,
yeah.
I was like we were dropped into the world.
I didn't know she was at a women's shelter or a prison.
She just got out of prison for like larceny or something. She was bilking people of money.
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of accepted it as she's a woman of the system in transit. Is how it, like, she just came from some place and now she's out of that place and now she's kind of wandering because she's that's kind of how I took it.
She was in the system. She was in the foster system. She's only 22 and she has a 6-year-old child. So
yeah, well,
do some math.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Jess, you're the gusher of this. What is there like a section that works for you best? It was just the whole way through, totally gripped. Like, yeah. What is it here?
Probably the very end. I don't know if you want me to say it now or if you want to summarize it before I give it away.
Screw it. Let's jump to the end.
Because the end is a lot.
No, let's jump back and forth. We can do whatever we want.
So the end where Terry tells his mom, like, you should have done a better job keeping the secret to yourself. That got me. That like put a knife in my heart and like twisted it over and over again. That is probably a scene or a line that I'm going to remember like forever. I don't know why that touched me so much. When he would look so sad and he said, you should have kept that secret harder. Ooh, that hurt because it's true. Like, she should, not that there anything she could do. There was a point in his life that, I mean, if I was the mother, I certainly would have tried as much as I could, but I don't know what she could do. There's a point in his life where he needs to be in society, and the secrets are not letting him do that. So, all right, for secrets.
And no one saw any of that coming, right? Like,
I did not see that coming at all.
No.
I could kind of see it in the beginning where she was, like, kind of following this kid around. I didn't know for sure if that was her son, because his little friends were like, oh, this lady's coming around again. It's not like, oh, look, it's your mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had that feeling, too. I'm like, why is she, like, coming around? And then she's like, oh, it's her kid, and she's in the foster system. So she doesn't have custody, but she's still, like, kind of around. And, like, that was the part of the whole, like, oh, she just came from a place kind of thing. So I figured she's going to, But I accepted that. And for everyone listening...
Yeah, same.
Everyone listening probably has seen it because spoilers, but if you don't know, the whole movie, you're expected this kid is her child that she stole back from the state, when, in fact, she is just some child. The state would say kidnapped, but... in actuality, she just kind of found him. He was standing on a corner at a women's shelter, and no one was there. And that, like, just standing there, anyone around.
As a 2-year-old.
Yeah, 2-year-old. So, like, yeah, real small, like teeny tiny. And so she's like, I can't just leave him here. And then she just never stopped taking care of him. And then you're just like, that's.
And can't you see this totally happening though? I mean,
it happens all the time. I'm sure.
Yeah, if you have people that are
very common.
Yeah, people that are in the shelter and they leave their kid out. Or you don't even know that his parents were in the shelter. Like, he was just standing outside the shelter. So
no, that's the thing is, you have no idea. He could have got dropped by a car.
I didn't pick up that he was 2. I assumed he was like a baby.
No, she said
no. This isn't
2.
like Harry and No, this isn't like
okay.
in a manger kind of thing. It was like a toddler. So the toddler came from somewhere, but like where and like where the parent went, no one. Yeah, who knows?
And who knows? Maybe like the parents had an accident. Like you don't know what happened.
Accident, drugs, wandered away.
Well, that's what I mean by accident.
Anything,
like
right,
yeah,
sure.
Right.
Yeah, accident. Okay, but like, so that you got that's the whole like final act twist there. You go see it leading up, and like you feel so bad for like this kid leading up there. Now let's backpedal to it with that retrospective all the way back. First I want to say watching through because I think I asked the same thing when we did Beast of Southern Wild about Wink, the guy. Good parent to Hush Puppy. Is this woman a good parent in quotations to her child to Terry, or like how would we grade this parenting job? Not like actor performance. We can get to that, but
right
in the character.
I mean, given how he grew up and the kind of person he is, I think she did a pretty damn good job. Like she didn't have much to work with. She took like night shifts so she could help him with like school or take him home from school. Like she had his eye on him at all times. Of course, like, she's got anger problems and things, but like how could you not with the upbringing that she had? But with all the resources that she could have, she did the best that she could, and I think it was a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, I think she was about a 7. And I'm taking into consideration the fact that, it's revealed that she didn't have any, real solid parenting of herself growing up. And that comes across, in a lot of aspects of what she does and how she behaves in general and what her outlook on life is. But the one thing that is really troubling to me is that, and this might be particular to parents who are young when they have kids, is that there is this dependence. The mom is very dependent on the child for emotional, rescue and emotional well-being. And that's a horrible, horrible thing to put on a child, that where they have to be, almost parenting the parent too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not super sappy.
She did say at some point, like, did I take you for you or did I take you for me?
Yeah. And I mean, that's a good question. I think probably for the boy, but I think, at some point she's thinking that she's, realizing that if she can take care of this child, then she has it within herself to be taken care of by someone else.
That's purpose. It's called it's purpose. It's what keeps when you're that person leaving a system and you're floating around and you have nothing. You need just purpose of some sort. So you got.
And she really, I mean, being in the system for so much and being in jail and being in shelters. I mean, I would say she's done a successful job as a person. I would give her like a 10 for being a person, but a 7 for being a parent.
I was curious. I was thinking back because I remember our Wink conversation because he's the one. Reminder for Beasts of the Southern Wild people. That's where a guy lives in the swamp by you, and they live in like their own like libertarian swamp community. And similar thing where like the parent is single parent, not by their own choosing, living outside of like kind of general laws, but like a little bit different. One's rural and one's surviving in the city, so it's a different type of survival. But yeah, it's I think we were harsher on Wink. Was my memory, although maybe he deserved it more. Is where he landed. Have you guys seen Florida Project? That would be another good comparison. Another good like mother. That's another mother.
I feel like when I had cable, I always saw that on the channel.
Oh, it's your movie you kept not watching. That's I have a couple. I keep not watching Lust Caution. I bought that junior year of college, and now I'm almost 30, so it's still on my shelf. It's still on my shelf in the shrink wrap. I've moved with it 5 times. I'm like, I can't watch it. I don't know why I bought this. I think I
can visualize what like the artwork looks like, like the poster picture.
Me too.
Of the
yeah.
There's like a girl running across a motel area, but like very freely and
Florida Project, yeah, exactly. So yeah, and it's good. It's also very good. I don't know if I compared this and that, which I'd like more. That one's has a little more levity to it. This is like that's not a critique, but like it's pretty like serious all the time. I don't really have a lot of like moments of levity, like whereas like some of the other ones, there's like some sparks of joy. There's sparks of joy in here, but they're more like sweet moments as opposed to like humorous ones. Reading to her basketball or baseball, that kind of stuff. But just different. Performance wise, Tiana Taylor pretty good from the Masked Singer. Is what I know her from, because I don't know her.
I don't know why I know her name, but I do. So when I saw that she was in it, I was oh, that's great, because I'm familiar with her. And then I looked, I'm like, I know nothing about her. This is the first movie.
She's in a couple things I've seen, but just not like as like the lead.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen her like this, obviously. But did you know her at all, Jess?
No.
She's quite good.
Yeah, she's a young Angela Bassett.
Oh, high praise.
Don't know who that is either.
You don't know who Angela Bassett is?
I don't think so.
No,
Fired.
Come on.
Fired from the show.
I did. Best actress nominee to Angela Bassett.
She's Chadwick Boseman's
Black Panther's mom.
In Black Panther.
Two Black Panthers moms. She's the mom of two Black Panthers, and
that's true. Both.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's got a role. I know, you don't like Black Panther, though. I know that, Jess.
Never mind.
A.V. Rockwell is the director. This is her debut. So she's got a couple other like shorts and music related stuff, but this is her feature, and it's very very well made. Like it's that like ground level, pulled in, sucked in, like forget I'm watching a movie, feel like I'm kind of there kind of thing, which is not always easy to do.
Yeah, I felt the same way. The music pulled me out sometimes. Sometimes the music felt a little. Okay, you guys are probably familiar with like after school specials, but there used to be movies of the week that were almost like adult after school specials. Like, you're going to learn something here that, you need a lesson learned. And it's this kind of
it's got a soapy, floaty sound to it.
Yeah, it wasn't funky enough to be like, but I really liked it. There is like R&B stuff through it, and there's some rap and some things like that are just the sort of city kind of music and something you would hear, because this takes place in Harlem. But that the stuff that is in the middle, like when things are happening and people are having conversations, I didn't like that at all.
I like the mishmashy sound of it. I like not mishmashy, but like I like that the sound is kind of a soothing. To me, it's a soothing sound, watching woman frantically run between telephone things and scream and freak out. I love it. Like that's like it's like the end of Blue Jasmine, Cate Blanchett's character. If we followed her, just continued in like a parallel universe, she went around yelling at people, and I could have done even more of that crazy stuff. It was really when they actually successfully pulled the family together. I'm like, I'm happy for them because they are well done characters, but like I did want more depraved like life on like this like the outskirts of society kind of thing, but like they're really able to bootstrap it, and and until the twist thing happens.
I want to know more about Jess wanting to like run with this chick as the leader of her gang.
Yeah,
like what kind of gang are we talking about here?
Yeah, why? What?
Dude, I would be. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be the leader, but I'd be one of her girls. I'd be the girls in the back.
Dude,
you'd be like Kim.
What draws you to this?
Kim.
This would stress me the fuck out. I could not. I've had friends not like this, but like 25% of this, and that was too much. I can't roll with this.
She's intense. She's an intense person, and she
is. That's why I want her to be the leader.
It makes me think
I'd be the girl in the back. I'd be the girl handing her the bobby pins.
It makes me nervous. It makes me think she doesn't understand like the full laws of society, and that she could like do something crazy at any second. And I can't live with that kind of insecurity within my company. It's too much.
Can we evaluate Lucky's character?
Yeah.
Lucky's okay.
Go ahead and start.
Okay. Yes. So at first, Inez brings home Lucky and quickly introduces him to Terry. And I'm just a little nervous because I think we talked about this earlier. Like, oh gosh, he's going to be abusive. He's going to fuck up Lucky. He's going to fuck up Inez. Like, he's just going to ruin everything. When in fact, he was not that bad. Like, he was obviously not a dedicated husband, but it wasn't like complete turmoil for him. And Inez did give him a big pass.
Yeah.
So he was a father figure, I would say, to Lucky, but he did disappear every now and then. In his last words, while he was dying, he just confessed how sorry he was for not being a dedicated husband. And Inez admits that she just always looked away, that she always gave him chances, that he'd always get some sort of pass for them. And I can understand why Inez wants him around. At first, I'm sure she wanted Terry to have a father. She wanted to be a family. She wanted to have a male figure around, so she wasn't doing it all by herself. So I completely understand why he was in the picture. But what really got me at the end, where they had Lucky's memorial service, Terry was like, who's this lady that keeps just like looking around? And then Inez just unapologetically was just like, oh, that's Lucky's daughter and her mother. And Terry's like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Yeah, because the little girl's probably like 3 or 4 or something like that. So it's obviously,
yeah, exactly. And Inez just always like looked away and just never brought that up to fight or anything. I think because she wanted him to stay around. But I don't know. I thought that was the moment too that I was also like, wow, that's.
I think
crazy.
To Inez, fighting to have a family was like the most important thing. A family to support. I mean, I think to support Terry, but also to support her. So,
yeah,
I think that was she was willing to look the other way because of that.
It makes me so sad at the end when it's like you look back and like they were all kind of just playing house. Like none of them actually like we're not actually each other, your parents. We're not actually like married to each other, or like we don't like none of us are actually any of this to each other. And then when the end comes and the state's like, actually you aren't. We are literally going to make this stop happening. And then it's just like, you're just like, the what's her name? Inez gets it at first. Like she's kind of shuts down immediately. And when she's like, I got nothing to say to you. Like, this is like fucking how it goes. Like, just keep going. And he's like, no, I was just living with my parents.
Like, Mom,
I was living
what?
with my
Mom.
parents, and now you're just like, nah, I'm not your mom. I'm just some lady. Good luck at the next house, kid. Like, what the fuck? Like, can you imagine? Like, that's fucking terrifying. If all of a sudden your parent was just like, no, I'm just some lady. Bye. Like, oh god.
And she said it like so shut off
because like, this is her first rodeo. This is like the 5th time she's had to do this in her life, or some version of this,
right?
Because so she's like, what do you like? She's like, what do you expect? Like, of course they're gonna come and take everything away and make you move again. Like, this is how the system goes for us. So that's just
I know she's kind of like,
but
she's kind of like, well, I mean, she doesn't say this, but it's like, well, we had a good run. Like, this has been the longest,
I know
situation for her.
That's what's so tragic about the way that
it is.
That scene is really like, I didn't cry because I was like almost in awe. I was like dumbstruck in awe of the tragedy. I was so appreciative of the, not even just written, just because it was so real feeling. Like, I couldn't even like it, like the tragedy that she's so destroyed that this almost doesn't seem to mean anything to him, and that this is all he's known, and now it's all gone, and he's the only one with any promise here, and now he's just had the biggest knife in him ever, like that could ever come. I mean, like, it's a good
his
hour.
Father figure, like his dad died. His mom's not real. He doesn't even know if he should go to college because he doesn't know what a route life's gonna take. He just is a very, very, very lost kid.
Yeah, and he even says something he doesn't like it's emotional time, but he says like I always wanted a mom, but I always really wanted a dad, and that's like
I know that was
like, and like she's the one who's done like she was there before he was, so like
but that's somebody who's hurt, like super hurt. Yeah, that's something that you say for that. But so what do you think about? I mean, let's think about he's a few weeks away from being 18 and emancipated anyway. Is this the right thing for the? Is this the right thing for the government to do? Like, is this the right thing?
I know.
Of course it's not.
I saw social worker as the evil villain. Like, I was like, how dare you report this?
Yeah, just keep your mouth shut for 2 weeks, lady.
Exactly. Pretend like you heard nothing. Like, and you could tell Terry didn't even want to tell what was happening. It's like, oh, let me talk to mom about my social security card. Like, let me do this. And she, like, pried it out of him, and I'm just like, you bitch. Like, I'm like, you are evil. Just, like, he's not abused. Like, he's
doing her job, Jess.
He's fine. Just give it, like, 2 weeks, and then
that's the thing, though. She's not evil, and I don't. She's not portrayed as like, you know, an evil witchy social worker, which they've done that before. She's just doing her job, like Brennan said. But it's like, just kind of look the other direction and be like, okay, well, I'll just pay you when you get your shit together, like when you get all your stuff, and it's some legal social security number that has all the numbers to it. Yeah,
but she doesn't like this. None of this surprises me because she's I'm even looking at this even more cynically. I'm looking at her now. Like, she of course would say something because I'm looking at the average social worker person. They're by the book people. They've seen so much bullshit that they're gonna go by the book no matter what, even when it's like, oh no, this is actually the most obvious case for an exception in the world, and they're still not going to do it because it's paperwork. I've heard every excuse in the book. I'm not going to actually look at this with my fucking eyeballs. I'm going to remember, oh, this is how it's always been, so I'm going to just fucking keep doing it this way. That's why Checked Out is believable to me, because like a real person, a human being would be like, oh yeah, a couple weeks, like, yeah, we can look the other way for 3 weeks or whatever, and just come. But you have to come back with your papers on Monday or whatever, and make it a deadline thing. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, especially because she knew like the route his life was going. Like, she was pushing for him to go to college. And
he wasn't going to be a nobody. He had so much promise.
Yeah,
so much potential.
Like, you're losing. The world is not only is he losing a life, the world could be losing an asset. Like, that's. That's why it's just even more sickening.
Yeah, and you're breaking a cycle that is so pernicious and happens so frequently. You just like celebrate that the cycle's being broken. You know, this woman did this for her whole life, revolved around raising a child who was going to not be the same as she was, not be the same as even Lucky, not, you know what I mean? Just let it go.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's a fucking government stooge. It's not. If it was a human, of course a human would do that, but not in this situation. Of course not. What I mean, we've guessed about all the ending pieces. Any other? There's only a few performances. We've praised the writer director. Any problems? I mean, small.
The kid, I love the performance of the 6-year-old. Like, I thought his performance was on. There was a lot going on during that time period where he sort of had some, you know, really compelling things to work with. And then the middle one, we didn't really get to know him very much, but the last one, he was a little too lackadaisical for me. A little too. I know this kid's an introvert and he's quiet and he's smart, but he didn't come.
I like the last kid.
You do? I just felt like there was nothing behind his eyes. I thought he was a little blank.
Maybe. I mean,
I can see what you're talking about, but I don't think that it bothered me too much. Like, he certainly was a hyper piece of shit, like P was. I didn't really bother me.
Remember the movie Loose, where it was the kid who was adopted by Naomi Watts and Tim Roth, and Octavia Spencer is the teacher. Yeah. The older version kind of reminded me of Loose a little bit, but like Loose was more confident, but like similar, like kind of like holding it together underneath, like sensitive underneath, like kind of guy.
Right. Yeah.
The 6-year-old was, I don't want to downplay the kid was awesome, and the middle kid, we didn't get as much. Maybe he was the weakest performer, and that's why they cut around him. I don't want to cast aspersions on the poor guy, but you know.
there was one joke where Naz said something about like sleeping with everyone, and the little kid was like, "That's nasty."
Oh, I remember that.
They use my body as a playground.
Yeah.
Everyone, my mom was playground before you came around. That's nasty, Mom.
That's nasty.
That definitely made me
That
laugh.
was probably that might have been
Response was just like,
the most levity in the whole movie, because like I said, like I'm a guy who likes, even in my dark stuff, I like a little levity, and like I forgot about that. That was a point of enjoyment.
that's nasty. So funny.
All right, are there any other pieces?
There's one piece
Oh,
I
please.
forgot to bring up. I should have brought it up when we talked about Lucky. When Lucky was dying and he was just talking about how he should have done life differently, Inez gave him a pass, and she specifically said broken people can't love broken people or something like that. And I was like, that one cut too.
Yeah, broken people don't know how to love, or something like that.
Something what she said.
That was
It's just like she obviously has all of this anger and frustration because, again, like this is like the way the world works is totally against her, and she specifically talks about being like a black woman, like it's just not made for you. But she does have a lot of emotional intelligence when she recognizes stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh no, she's got this, like, her savvy is what has kept her going. This savvy, and she's relentless. That's another thing. People, like, the difference between her and, like, anyone else in her position is that she just doesn't, she's a shark, she doesn't stop swimming. Like, just, like, if you're anyone out there, if you're, like, disciplined to just keep going, you will probably keep going for way longer than anyone would have guessed.
Yeah, she's 100%, responsible for everything, and she's 100% going forward at all times. And there's only one time where she breaks when there's a point, I think they must be talking about whether or not he's going to go to the gifted school, and she starts arguing with her husband, and he grabs the keys, and he's like, I'm leaving or whatever. And she's like, oh, go ahead, go. What if I went too? What if I just went? Like, what if I went? You don't have my back. When are you going to back me up? Kind of thing. That's the only time I saw her sort of get soft. I mean, at the end when he's dying, you see it's more of a like, this is just our lot in life. But that one was a plea for, I've had nothing. I've had no mother's love. I've had no love my whole life. Can you just throw me a bone? Like,
Well, I mean,
it's heartbreaking. It's a heartbreaking
everyone
thing.
leaves at the end.
Yeah,
It's a heartbreaking movie. I mean, it's got like they hug at the end, but I mean, it's just you can hope the kid, like, he's got enough of a go now where he'll make. I think she even says at the end, she's like, I did my job. I got you to here in one piece, and like. Above what I had. That's all I had to do. And then I don't know what's going to happen to me now, but that's you got here, and you had more than I did. That and I like that aspect. Like, for like, if you don't have a lot and you just want more for your kid, like, it's, even if obviously that kid's going to still have a really tough life, but at least he's higher up than she did. And then when he gets his kid one day, well, that kid's going to have maybe a regular life, and then maybe that kid after them, That's how you build a family.
Yeah.
That's how you build a family.
That's what you hope for. Yeah.
Yeah, you do your best.
At the end, I kind of had the feeling the story was going to go, that they weren't going to remain close, which made me sad. Like, I thought that, they would get past that she's not the real mom, but they would still be mom and son relationship.
Sure.
But it kind of made it seem like that's not what happens.
I don't think it's going, like, I don't think it's gonna just be like, I don't think it's gonna be that I don't care what the system says, I'm your mom. That's not what this is. It's well, I know, like,
which makes me sad.
But that's what the kid has to learn here, is that isn't what this is. And like, I know, I like she honestly, like, Inez has been way above her pay grade her whole life. Like, she cannot be just that mom. Like, she's already been playing that for too long, and I think it's the right move to have her be like, yeah, we can still know each other, but like, the truth now, you're a grown up, We're like, this is it. This is how it is.
Also, I gotta
that
split
makes
because
me
I'm gonna go to jail
sad.
if they catch me. So bye.
Yeah, that's how it is
That's
up
true.
here.
That's true. She does have to like hide the rest of her life now.
It's
She'll
like
come
they
back
find
when he's
out-
married and has kids, and then she'll show up one day. Who's that? That's your grandma. And then, oh, isn't that nice?
This is like the deeply impoverished version of finding out, the thing that takes your teeth and delivers you gifts, and maybe those things don't exist. This is that version. This is
teeth.
the thing that
That
takes your
sounds
teeth.
so ominous.
Breaks and enters, leaves its children around your lawn. There's creatures.
Leaves baskets full of stuff.
Oh yeah, all the B&E fairy tale creatures that come into your things.
Maybe that's what was happening
I-
in Jess's house when she heard that bump last night, or
It was the tooth
it was the
fairy.
tooth fairy. Jess lost a tooth.
Our show is an E tag on it, so I can't imagine there's a ton of families. Folks, it sounds like I think I know where this is going to land, but Jess, you going to recommend 1001?
Oh, absolutely. I actually am surprised I forgot to tell Karen that she should watch it, so I'm going to tell her.
Ooh, you get to
after
tell
this.
Karen about
yes.
a prestige indie movie for once. Look at
Ooh.
you. Fancy.
That's right.
Mama K?
Yeah, I'm going to recommend this. This is a good story and told really well for a first-time director and writer. I think she wrote it as well. So, yeah, I'm recommending it.
I think our hot streak is continuing here. We got 3 recommends for 1001. I say that because that's 5, 6 things. I've recommended almost everything so far. I've been liking or loving everything, and that's how I prefer it. So we'll keep the ball rolling. We've got more stuff at the end of July, August. I'm sure there's stuff. That's right. The next things you'll be hearing, I forget. We're kind of recording ahead of time. It'll be Barbieheimer. Barbieheimer's coming down the pike. We got Barbie and Oppenheimer. So
Barbieheimer.
Decide. Barbieheimer weekend. Everyone's talking about it. It's got buzz.
I don't know.
You'll see-
Isn't it actually Indiana Barbieheimer?
Is it what? Beg pardon.
Indiana?
Cut out.
Indiana Barbieheimer.
Oh, no, not Indiana. No one cares about Indiana Jones.
I think you're wrong.
Whatever he's doing. He's 800 years old. No one wants to watch that.
80.
If you have things to recommend to us, we'll be doing all that stuff, but we'll probably take other things. Films with the Women in My Life on Facebook. Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Brennan_podhost, and you can email the show, filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Thank you guys for being on 1001.
Yeah, they owe you big thanks. Thank you.
Sure enough.
All right, we got one of the ones. We got a couple every year. Here is one of them. Savor it. Until next time, this is Brennan signing off, saying thanks for listening and enjoy your movies.
Thanks for listening to Films with the Women in My Life. If you enjoyed being a listener in our life, please rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. Keep up with the latest from the show on Instagram at Brennan_podhost, on Facebook at Films with the Women in My Life, and on Twitter at FilmsWomenPod. Finally, you can email the show with questions and suggestions at filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Original music for the show was created by Ian Burke and Chris Iwanek. Original artwork created by Nicole D'Alessio. This show is produced by Brennan Snyder. Thank you again for listening and enjoy your movies.